Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. It is Monday, May 15th, 2023. And runway roulette has struck again. When I was setting out, I intended to go to the Polderbaan, but I saw that it was closed and departures took place from other runways. Landings too. Landings were taking place on runway 27. So I figured, okay, let's go to the McDonald's and set up for arrivals. And as I was setting up, they closed the runway. And at the moment, landings take place, I think both on the Polderbaan and on 36 right. So we can see planes land on runway 36 right from over here, such as this Saudia 747 arriving from Jeddah. However, we are not up close. Departures take place from the Kaagbaan, runway 24. So we can see the airplanes taxi to the runway threshold and see the initial beginning of their departure. Other than that, unless they are going to reopen runway 27 for arrivals later in the morning, unfortunately we are not very optimally located to see air traffic from up close. Good morning Donna, goedemorgen Gosse. Hope you two are doing well. It is overcast over here. There's a little bit of wind blowing from the west. Not a whole lot, I think 6 knots or so. So unless the runway changes and they are going to open 27 again, I don't think it's going to be a very long stream today. But hopefully long enough to test the new settings that I tried. Hey there Daniel, good morning. I hope both my internet connection and my voiceover will be better and stable, more stable now. Hey Marius, goedemorgen, good morning. Hope you're doing well, mate. So we've had some issues with the voiceover mic, and sometimes also the stream was buffering sometimes. And what I found out was that the DJI mic transmits and receives data on the 2.4 gigahertz frequency, and as it happens my wireless modem was also set to the same frequency. So I don't know if there was interference, but I did change the DJI mic back to the factory settings, and I also changed the wireless router to 5 gigahertz so that at least the wireless signal is on a different frequency. So I hope that this not only improves but also stabilizes both the voiceover sound quality and the internet connection. So if anything, I hope that at least I'll be able to stream long enough to get a decent test out of the new settings. Very unfortunate that Schiphol once again switched up the runway configuration. But yeah, that's just how it goes over here at Schiphol sometimes. I don't know a lot of other guys named Boy as well, Donna. It's not a very common name here in the Netherlands, although it is. There are more people that are called Boy, but I only met one once during my study. Good morning Luca, and good morning Droogbier, and good morning Casper. Casper asks if I am live on Friday, the day he's coming back from America. Well, if the weather is okay and it's not pouring with rain, I will definitely look to go out again. What time are you coming back? En natuurlijk Boy Zonderman. Children's program. I think it still runs, doesn't it? Back in the day that Gosse and I were small children and were watching a program, you did have a character called Boy Zonderman. Dutchies will probably know. Hey, and Droogbier, why did you have a slight giggle at the Cargolux thumbnail? Just curious. So we are able to see arrivals on 36 left, right. This is Suparna arriving from Nanjing. Now, being so far away, unfortunately you don't get to hear a lot of the sounds. Although maybe the sound of the reverse thrust will carry a bit towards us. Oh yeah, this you should be hearing. Ah, okay. I missed that Droogbier. Now I get it. Maybe, who knows, maybe it was this 747 on the thumbnail. I just picked it because I thought it was a nice moody picture of Schiphol with the early morning light. I think it was from a live stream a couple of months ago. Hey Yorkshire, good morning. Celestia, goedemorgen. Nice name. So for those of you just tuning in, welcome to AMS Live on this somewhat grey Monday morning. As I was saying, Schiphol runway roulette played another one on me today. Initially I was planning on going to the Polderbaan, figured that it would probably be used for either arrivals or departures. As I was driving to Schiphol, I saw that the runway was closed and that they had opened runway 27 for arrivals. So I figured, okay, well then let me continue driving towards the McDonald's, set up alongside the McDonald's, do some up-close arrivals. Hey Kamposk, hey there Greet, goedemorgen, good morning. Martin, good morning. Hope you guys are all doing well. So unfortunately, as I was saying, I was setting up here and they closed runway 27, and now paradoxically landings take place from both the north and the south. So you have the situation that runway 36 right is now in use as one of the two runways for arrivals, and runway 24 is in use for departures. So to the southwest, they take off, they land to the north, just a little bit to the east of it. Bit paradoxical. The wind is blowing from the east, more or less, west, sorry. If I show you guys the windsock that is here nearby the fence, if I can still, yeah, you can still see it somewhat. There isn't a lot of wind, but what wind there is blowing from the west. Yeah. Bit of a pity. So, also for those of you just tuning in, hey, A340, don't see them a lot. What one? I don't recognize the livery. Which one is this? Let's see. Ah. High Fly Malta. AMC flight 394 A340 300 arriving from Malta, 22 years old, first flight October 2000. Hey there David, good evening to you then. Checking in from Melbourne. Hey there Peter PDK, good morning. Nice of you to join me once again for another live stream, although if the runway configuration stays the way it has been, I think it won't be a very long stream because we aren't able to see traffic from up close, although with the zoom on this camera you can see what is going on in the distance somewhat. Hey Ralph, good morning, goedemorgen. So, as I was saying, yesterday I also made a few alterations in the settings. I did a factory reset on my DJI mic that I use now for voiceover. Hopefully, maybe that improves something. Also, what I altered was the frequency of my wireless router, because as it turns out, DJI mic transmits and receives data on the 2.4 gigahertz frequency, and my wireless router was also on the same frequency, so maybe there was some interference which might have caused some unevenness in the voiceover and also in the video feed. So now the modem is transmitting and sending data on 5 gigahertz. Cannot change the frequency of the DJI mic, but at least now I'll know for sure that there won't be any interference because they use different frequencies. So hopefully this will result in both a more stable internet connection, so no more buffering issues hopefully, and also hopefully the voiceover will be crisp and without the AM, FM switches that last couple of times we often heard. Listening back to it also yesterday, really annoying, so hopefully this will resolve it. Now, let's have a look. Arrivals on 36R should become visible somewhere in the distance over there. Now you guys can see it is overcast, visibility is not that great. It's not foggy, but it's definitely hazy. In the meantime, I also see, maybe that's more interesting to show you guys, some traffic taxiing to the runway to depart. American Airlines Dreamliner, and it's also being followed by a 777. Hey there David, good morning. Paul Jack, good morning. Greetings from Devonport, Tasmania. Wow. Tasmania, isn't that exactly on the other side of the globe to the Netherlands? Either Western Australia or Tasmania, I think. If you dig a hole and go through the core of the earth, I think you would end up somewhere in that region. If you started digging over here at least. Good morning, Volcic, if I say that somewhat correctly, who is tuning in from Poland. Good morning. Nice of you to join us over here on a grey Monday morning, over here at Schiphol Airport. Also a bit colder than it was over the weekend. Back then we had temperatures in the vicinity of 20 degrees centigrade, so almost 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Now it is definitely cooler. more like 10 degrees or so. So there is a queue waiting to take off from runway 24. I think the 737 from KLM is going to go first. Delta A330 behind it. And in the meantime, Polderbaan and Aalsmeerbaan are used for arrivals. So arriving from both the south and the north. Now this is fully zoomed in. Yorkshire remarking that the sound is excellent today. Super, that was also what I heard at home. So I was hoping... How's the volume, by the way? Is it too loud or is it good enough? Or I think it should be okay-ish. Maybe a bit harder than it was during the previous couple of streams. Is that A340 also going to take off, or is it still taxiing? Oh no, it arrived just now, didn't it? So the A340 probably still taxiing to the gate. And there seems to be a queue forming to take off from runway 24. Also see a Korean Airlines 777 in the distance, the blue one, left of the Suparna. Hey Wilma, goedemorgen. Good morning. Volume levels seem fine, excellent. So yeah, more test stream than anything, I think. Considering that we won't be seeing up close action unless they change the runway configuration again. Always a bit of a gamble. Unfortunately, the website that shows the predicted runway usage wasn't updated yet. Little CRJ from SAS. Hey Jorn, goedemorgen. Alles goed? So the CRJ entering the runway 24. So we have this odd situation right now that although the wind is blowing from the west, runway 27 is closed again and landings take place both from the south and from the north. And departures take place in southwesterly direction. Now that in itself is not strange considering the wind, the direction of the wind, but unfortunately, runway roulette has struck again. Hey. What's this? Is that a Pilates? Vanishing into the clouds. took off just out of my sight on the Schiphol Oostbaan. Now that looks like a dwelling. Thanks for the feedback, Paul. Zero problems getting you here in Tassie clear as a bell. Much clearer than the weather, probably. Let me have a look at the website that shows the predicted runway usage. Normally they update it around 9:30, and at least for the upcoming hours give an indication, although not always correct, of the runway usage. I think they did have an update now. Alright. So from 9:20 till 11, landing on runway 27, okay, but that's now okay. Okay, so they do predict that landings on Buitenvelderbaan runway 27 will commence again in 40 minutes from now. Yeah, so at least in 40 minutes they are saying that runway 27 will reopen again. Now that would be nice if that were true. Well, you guys deserved it, Yorkshire. You guys have had bad weather over the last couple of days as well, so good on you to finally have some sunshine over there. I think for us over here we'll have to wait a bit. Maybe tomorrow it will get better again. At the moment it's also drizzling just ever so slightly, just a few droplets. Had a look on the weather radar before going out and I didn't think it was anything substantial, so did go out regardless. Hey there, Radio Free Norway, good morning, and Paul Asher, good morning. For those of you tuning in later, welcome to the stream, welcome to AMS Live. My name is Boy. This is Schiphol alongside runway 27 that was in use for arrivals as I was setting up, and then they closed it again, and it looks like we'll have to wait until 11:40. Got to go, boss coming. See you later, Donna, have a nice day. So at the moment I'm standing alongside a runway that isn't used anymore, although the wind is blowing from the west. It is set to reopen again in 40 minutes from now, so we'll have to make do with what we can see from over here. Arrivals take place on 36 right at the moment and on 18 right. Departures take place from runway 24. So just touched down is an ITA Airways Airbus by the looks of it. Now visibility is not that great. Cannot see arriving airplanes too far in advance. Hey Antonetta, good morning. Checking in from California. Nice dark blue of ITA Airways to liven up an otherwise grey day. Now I don't see any big birds on flight radar that are on final for landing on 36 right. I do hear an engine Let's have a look. Where is that sound coming from? You guys are probably hearing this too. Now, where is the source? You'll never know for sure, of course, but it's not a Dreamliner. Could it be the triple? Another triple. No, it's not being towed. Hey there, Barbs. Good morning. Hope you're well. Good to see you again, and welcome to everyone who has joined us in the meantime. Now we're waiting for the reopening of runway 27. At the moment it is closed. It is set to reopen again in 35 minutes. It was open when I was setting up here, but they closed it again. The infamous runway roulette of Schiphol Airport. Wind is blowing from the west, and at the moment arrivals are taking place from the south and from the north. But none on runway 27 into the headwind. Now this triple is being towed, so it isn't what we are hearing in the background. United triple, Delta A330, Air Europa in the distance behind the KLM. I am okay, Paul. Thanks for asking. It is cooler than it was over the weekend, but I'm back in my hoodie and my jeans. Luckily, it's not that cold that I need to resort to wearing gloves again. Thank God for that. Now let's see what I can show you guys from arriving traffic as soon as something is coming. There are a couple of Embraers that look like they are headed to 36 left, right. Hey Steve88, I was intending on showing you arrivals on runway 27, but they closed the runway and they may reopen it again in half an hour. That is the runway I'm standing next to. It's also the runway that faces headwind, so it would be the most logical choice to use for arrivals, but unfortunately at the moment they closed it once again. I do see a departure from a private jet, a business jet. Tri-engine. Now you can see that the cloud base is not very high at the moment. Cannot follow airplanes very long. Over here in the water there is a coot. I also saw a duck a little earlier. Don't see it anymore. Also in the last couple of weeks since I have been here, things have definitely started to overgrow, so obscuring the view on the water somewhat, at least on this side. Hey, good morning, Alex Reason. Hope you're doing well. And another business jet just touched down. Hey Roadhog, good morning, goedemorgen. So, those of you just tuning in, welcome to AMS Live. My name is Boy and this is temporarily, hopefully, Schiphol action from a distance. I'm set up next to the McDonald's alongside Buitenvelderbaan runway 27, which was in use for arrivals when I was going to Schiphol this morning. Initially I was planning on going to the Polderbaan, but they were closed and 27 was open for arrivals. Wind is blowing from the west, so I figured, okay, well maybe they, just maybe they are going to keep it open a bit longer than the standard hour or so. Unfortunately, the website that shows the predicted runway usage for the upcoming hours hadn't updated yet, so it was a bit of a gamble. And as I was setting up, unfortunately they closed runway 27. Now both 18 right and 36 right are in use for arrival, so landings take place from the south and from the north. When I checked 10 minutes ago, the website showing the predicted runway usage had updated, and the forecast now is that at 11:40 AM local time, arrivals on 27 will resume again. Which means that at least we'll be able to see landings up close. For now, we'll have to make do with what we can see from over here in the distance. It's not optimal, but at least it's something. I made some changes to my settings yesterday. It turns out that the DJI mic and my modem were both transmitting data and receiving data on the same frequency, 2.4 gigahertz, and you cannot change the frequency of the DJI mic, but you can on the modem. So I switched the modem to 5 gigahertz, did a factory reset on the DJI mic. So hopefully now voiceover will be crisp again, hopefully without any AM to FM switches, and also hopefully the buffering issues will also improve. Hopefully they'll be gone, but at least hopefully they will become better now that the modem is transmitting on a different frequency. Oh, that's nice, Steve. Thank you so much. Keep company at work. I think a lot of people are doing that, working while having a live stream on at the same time. If it helps you get through the day better, then that's obviously something I very gladly do. So following this airplane, we can also have a look at the general aviation part of the platform area. You guys can see several business jets are parked over there. Now, unfortunately, now we stop being able to see the airplane taxiing. I think it is something that they can use to test engines or something. Is it a sound barrier? Don't know for sure. This is also the part where we recently saw the airplane of Max Verstappen. I think it was somewhere over here where they parked. And then somebody got out and hopped into a van. And even with the power zoom, we weren't able to see, unfortunately, if it was him or not. Now, looking back, in the direction of the threshold of runway 24, Delta A330 looks like it's lining up to depart. Looking on flight radar, I still see that incoming traffic is directed to 36 right and 18 right. Hopefully. And Martin is driving a shovel with 2 iPads on which one is the stream. Awesome, man. Do be careful that you don't crash into something while being distracted. So, landing airplanes on 36 right, this is what we can see of it. Hey Roskut, good morning. Hope you're well on this Monday morning. Martin is very experienced in driving a shovel and having streams on his iPad. Excellent. Hey Rick, goedemorgen. Hey Mario, good morning. So yeah, for those of you tuning in just now, welcome to AMS Live. My name is Boy. I'm standing alongside runway 27, the Aalsmeerbaan, which was open for arrivals when I was setting out to Schiphol. Initially I was planning on going to the Polderbaan, but at the time it was closed. 27 was open for arrivals. Wind is blowing, albeit mildly, from the west. So I figured, okay, maybe they are going to keep it open for a while. And runway roulette has struck again, because as I was setting up, they closed the runway. At the moment, runways 18 right and 36 right are both in use for landing, so in opposite directions, more or less perpendicular to the prevailing wind. And that's an A350 over there with the Lotus, I think it is, on the tail. Beautiful. Always a nice aircraft to look at. Both this livery and the A350 itself. Hey Peppy, guten Morgen, servus. Hope you're well. So, they didn't update the website for the predicted runway usage when I was underway, so it was a bit of a gamble. Now I checked 10-15 minutes ago, I think, maybe even 20 already, and it is said that in, 20 minutes from now, runway 27 will reopen again for arrivals. So hopefully we will be able to see up close traffic very soon. Now if you guys notice any buffering issues in the live stream, or if my voiceover starts sounding softer, or if it goes from AM to FM or FM to AM, do let me know in the comments. I will listen back this stream, as I regard it as more or less a test stream of sorts. But if you notice anything going off, do let me know. A lot of action around the threshold of runway 24. Currently the only runway in use for departures. Ah, nice way to make use of the iPads there, Martin. Hey Lucas, good morning. Checking in from sunny Brazil. Well, do send some sunshine over to the Netherlands if you will. We only got a small taste of it over the weekend. Now it's back to wearing a hoodie and jeans again. En Marit, dat klopt. There is a Sennheiser MKE 600 mounted on my camera, and that is a long mofo. And yeah, if you zoom out you do see it. That is unfortunate, but I cannot mount it more to the back because then the windjammer will come in the way. And there are also some buttons that you also need to be able to access. So unfortunately that is something that you do see every now and then. If I zoom out, it is, if I wiggle you can see it. The windjammer on the MKE 600. Now, looking at flight radar, traffic from the east is still directed southwest, so still directed to land on 36 right. Let's have a look and see what we can see of it. It's not a whole lot. Exactly, Roadhog, that cat. And thank you Lamb4 for the feedback. Insofar as that you guys can hear sound, the ambient sound of course. But if 27 will reopen again, you guys will hear the airplane sounds much better. So yeah, Marit, I'm working with two microphones. I have the DJI mic for voiceover, and I have the Sennheiser on the camera for the airplane and ambient sounds. Meanwhile, some more traffic landing on 36 right. Easyjet Airbus. Is it a Neo? I think it might be, looking at the engine size. Salut Jean-Yves, comment ça va? Nice to see you again, mate. Hey, Panther Aerox 1992. Good morning, checking in from Bogota in Colombia. 4 AM. Holy moly. Are you still up or are you up early? That is quite early. Now over here, as you guys can see, it is gray. It is a bit hazy. There is a bit of wind blowing from the west. Or at least the general direction is the west, variable a little bit, but mostly from the west, northwest maybe. Few knots, not too hard, nothing to write home about. At the moment there are a few droplets falling. It was said that a small front of rain would pass over the Netherlands today. Now on the weather radar it looked like it was dissolving as it was approaching the Netherlands. So I don't expect more than a few droplets of precipitation, at least for the upcoming hours over here. Don't know if it might intensify later as the front approaches land, but other than a few droplets of precipitation, it's going to stay dry over here in the upcoming hours. Hey, what is that? Next to a landing airplane there's a triple directly facing me. Saw the I was looking in its headlights just now. Is that that must be a transport, that must be a cargo airplane that is waiting to line up on 24 from the south side of the cargo area. Hey Mats, good morning. Finally able to tune in for an early stream. Oh man, I really hope for you that 27 is going to reopen again in 15 minutes, which is what they are expecting. Because runway roulette has struck again, folks. I set up next to a runway that closed as I was setting up. And Lucas asks if I saw that TUI Airlines now has an E2. Are you talking about TUI the Netherlands? And no, I didn't know that. I know that they still had a 767 and at least a couple of 737s and 3 Dreamliners, if I recall correctly. Have they ordered the E2 or have they already taken delivery of the E2? Was just behind the radar tower. Turkish cargo, says Alex. Excellent. Now there's a whole queue for waiting to depart from runway 24. So there is this triple on the one side, Speedbird now on the runway, the A350 with the Lotus, Delta A330, United Dreamliner by the looks of it. Is there more? That is the Easyjet, I think, that arrived just now, or? Okay, so A350 is lining up, ready to go. Ooh, that's a name that brings back memories. Louis de Funès. Wow, it's been a while since I saw those movies. Must be childhood. It's been a while since I heard that name. And I always have to think of hello when I have to think of the gendarmerie. Good morning. I've got some bad nose. I think, Orwin, that the Coast Guard has already taken off. I did hear something take off to the right of to the left of me, and as I was looking, it was already gone. I think that must have been the Coast Guard taking off. One of my favorite series as well. Hallo. Hey Liewe, goedemorgen. Good morning. Alles goed? So folks, for you, those of you just tuning in, welcome to AMS Live. My name is Boy. I'm set up next to runway 27, which is currently still closed, but is set to open again for arrivals in 10 minutes from now. Wind is blowing from the west, not too hard. I was intending on going to the Potterbaan this morning, but it was closed by the time I was packing in and was about to go. I did see that 27 was in use for arrivals, so I figured with the prevailing wind might as well go to runway 27 and hope for the best. Now, runway roulette once again has struck, because as I was setting up they closed the runway. So at the moment we can only see traffic from afar. Arrivals on 36 right and the initial beginning of departures on runway 24. As soon as 27 reopens again, we should be having front row seats for arrivals. Now it is said that in 10 minutes from now, 11:40 local time, 27 should reopen again for arrivals. So fingers crossed for that. In the meantime, we're just checking out what is going on in the distance. I see that the lights on the triple have gone on, so it is now entering the runway by the looks of it. Hey there Elton, good morning. Who is checking the stream from Aruba? Michael Novus 87, good morning. Hey there Tony Hart, checking in from the UK, good morning to you all. Hope you are all doing well. Hey Ina, guten Morgen. Nice to see you again. Nice of you guys to tune back in for some action over here at Schiphol Airport, albeit distant action for the time being. I am keeping a close eye out on flight radar to see if we are already seeing incoming traffic. I think we might actually. There is an Embraer 190 that is looking like it might turn to the west to arrive. Yeah, I think you're right, Alex. I think you're right. There's now an Embraer 190 flying over Diemen, Amsterdam southeast, and it looks like it is continuing its right-hand turn. Yep, I can confirm that it seems that traffic is coming to 27 again. Very pleased to see that. Obviously, from this vantage point, you can always have a look at what's going on in the distance. There's always something to do over here at Schiphol, but up-close traffic is, of course, what you guys are tuning in for, and also what I'm going out for. Air Europa Dreamliner probably off to Madrid, also taxiing to the runway now. Ladies and gentlemen, I can hardly believe it, but there is traffic coming to runway 27. So what I am going to do is zoom out and turn around the camera and await the arrival of our first airplane on runway 27. See if I can still follow the airplanes, if I still have it in the fingers. We're awaiting the arrival of an Embraer 190 from KLM flight 1474. Embraer 190 arriving from Glasgow, where it departed 1 hour and 5 minutes ago. This airplane, 13 years old, had its first flight in January 2010. Hey Maarten, goedemorgen. Thanks for your kind words. And we do see some lights over in the distance. How about that? All right. Mats also says that it looks like there's a heavy inbound. Which one might that be? I only have a small snippet of flight radar on my split screen together with the chat, so I'm unable to see too far ahead. Alright, 777 coming up, nice. Hey Suzanne, goedemorgen. Alles goed? Relaxing, watching the stream while learning. Ben je examens aan het voorbereiden? Are you studying for exams? Always an exciting period. And the next airplane to arrive is another Embraer 190 from KLM flight 954, KLM City Hopper, arriving from Newcastle, departed from Newcastle 56 minutes ago. The airplane is 12 years old, first flight August 2010. Ah, studying math. Hey. Focus. There we go. It is a Canon camera, but you would sometimes think it is Dutch, having a mind of its own. Well, no time to waste. The next airplane is already visible in the distance. It is a Transavia 737-800 arriving from Olbia. Transavia flight 6918. 13 years old, this airplane. First flight April 2010. And it left Olbia 2 hours 2 minutes ago. studying mathematics. I think that must be one of the most difficult studies, together with physics, natuurkunde. So next up is a KLM, well, it is German Airways. Oh, it is our favorite chocolate cake livery, Leysieffer Chocolaterie special livery, the Embraer 190 from German Airways, arriving from Stavanger, where it left an hour and 16 minutes ago. The airplane, 15 years old, first flight January 2008. Hey Greet, thanks for your kind words. Glad you are enjoying. Goedemorgen Daniel. Goedemorgen, photo for you. Hey Wendy, goedemorgen. Good morning. So we had to wait a little while, but finally 27 reopened again. Chocolate. Oh. And also a small wheelie to boot. Nee, meen je niet. Wilma is trying to make me jealous, saying that in Zwolle the sun is still full out and shining. Why is it that it was the same thing happened not too long ago, that in the east and in the north people were reporting, oh, the sun is out, blue sky, yada yada yada. And we over here in the Randstad were having, well, let's say it nicely, poopy weather. Alright, so KLM City Hopper arriving from London City. Nee, Marius. Apeldoorn, sun and blue sky as well. Are you just joking on me, or are you actually having blue sky over there? It's time that they relocate Schiphol Airport, although maybe that is not a good idea, because then my travel time to Schiphol would become much longer than it is at the moment. But maybe for the weather. Normally speaking, the coastal areas should have more hours of sunshine per year than the areas that are more land inward, with the north, the islands in the Wadden Islands in the north having the most sunshine. So far I got the impression that this is a different year, the exception to the rule maybe. Hey there, Dr. O. Hey there, Roskut. Or I should say, hey there, Dr. O. Good morning. And Roskut is saying 777 incoming. Excellent. Where is it? Oh yeah, I can see it. Number 2. And Marius isn't joking. Do we see it? Oh yeah, it's further down already. First up, KLM 737-800 arriving from Paris Charles de Gaulle. After that we are going to see a 777, ladies and gentlemen. So buckle up. That one is probably a bit louder. Now let me quickly turn around the camera. First heavy of the day is expected to become visible shortly. KLM flight 736 is what we are awaiting. Arriving from Curaçao, Willemstad, after a flight of 8 hours and 35 minutes, this Boeing 777-300ER, 8 years old, had its first flight in March 2015. And Donna just came out of the meeting, just in time to see the first heavy. There we go. 777. Roskut asks if the roof or top floor of the parking still is accessible. I think P3 is still accessible. I know that Bart is streaming from there regularly. I think you just have to buy a ticket and you can enter it. Never been there myself. I like being more up close to the air traffic whenever possible. But the vantage point and the oversight you have from over there is of course unique. Also being so closely located to the main platform area. And a little wheelie to boot, not the longest we've seen. Also not the loudest landing we've ever seen. So yeah, Dr. O was already saying the next airplane to arrive, City Hopper Embraer 175, arriving from Humberside. Not yet visible. Now flying over Amstelveen. KLM flight 1486, Embraer 175 arriving from Humberside, where it left 39 minutes ago. The airplane 5 years old. First flight November 2017. And Jana says that in Germany, where she is, there's also sunshine. Whoa. Nice to know that at least the sun still exists and is out there somewhere. Hey Amy, good morning. You're up early. Hope you're doing well. Nice to see you again. Yeah, you're right, chauffeur GoPro, but considering the time of year, it was only a small glimpse that we got. Spring so far has been underwhelming in that respect. Nice application of the reverse thrust. Exactly, never enough. Hey Lane, goedemorgen, good morning. Alright, so there is a journey to the future special liveried Emirates A380 out. ETA 1 hour and 20 minutes, so that is 10 past 1 p.m. local time. Hopefully they won't change the runway configuration for landings. If that is the case, then we are going to see the Emirates A380 really up close. Now the journey to the future livery. We've seen it a couple of times before already. Not as impressive as the destination Dubai multicolored liveries, but still a nice livery to look at nonetheless. Also an airplane worth sticking around for. Meanwhile, more action on the platform. Triple ready to taxi. Looking in the distance. Silkway West. Queen approaching the runway threshold to take off. Now, in the meantime, we are awaiting the next incoming traffic. KLM flight 1008, Boeing 737-800, arriving from London Heathrow. 12 years old, first flight March 2011. Departed from London Heathrow 43 minutes ago. After that, 777 time once more. 777 arriving from Panama City. Also a Dreamliner inbound from LAX. Flying downwind. And Dr. O says that in Hanover it is 21 degrees and the sun is out. You guys are all making me very jealous. Although yesterday we did have a lovely day. Hey Cathay Spotter, good morning. Just in time, still 5 minutes, then it's good afternoon over here. So here is KLM flight 758. It is arriving from Panama City where it left 9 hours 27 minutes ago. This is a 777-300ER that is 14 years old, had its first flight in May 2009. Very nice. Okay, and Rick says that apparently it's not just the Delta A330s that have issues with their landing gear anymore. Now KLM as well. A330-200, that was probably a rather old machine. Is just a guess I'm making. Right, next up. Soon to become visible, Transavia flight 5806, Boeing 737-800, arriving from Thessaloniki in Greece. Left there 2 hours 32 minutes ago. The airplane we're about to see, 9 years old. First flight February 2014. Had to search for it a little bit. And Dr. O says that there's a 777 arriving from Vancouver in 6 minutes. I also see that number 2 is going to be KLM flight 604. 787-10 Dreamliner arriving from LAX. Okay, it happened yesterday. Well, I took a day off yesterday. It was nice weather to do a bike ride. Something I also enjoy doing. Not on a racing cycle or anything. Just casual. Of course, upgrading or factory resetting the DJI mic. Plus changing the frequency on the modem, which hopefully results in both better audio and video. Alright, is that the triple we are hearing? I don't see any other airplanes nearby that might be causing that engine sound. Now, before going to the triple, a Grebe, diving under, bit camera shy, and this looks like a duck. Is it a duck? Yeah, it's not a coot. Looking at its beak. Alright, whoa, no time to waste. Dreamliner incoming. KLM flight 604 arriving from LAX, where it left 9 hours 52 minutes ago. This is a Boeing 787-10 Dreamliner, 3 years old. First flight November 2019. Yeah, Rick, I do have an electric bike. As I was living in Amsterdam up to last year. So if you have to cycle a lot, and there are also some bridges that you sometimes have to climb, and also some open spaces where the wind can occasionally be blowing, having an electric bike is really handy. Just have the ability to up the support when needed and put it on low when it isn't needed, or even off sometimes. Transavia flight 5312 arriving from Corfu. KLM 737-800, 23 year. Transavia 737-800, 23 years old. First flight April 2000. Next up, KLM flight 682, 777-200 ER, 19 years old. First flight October 2003, arriving from Vancouver, and it left 8 hours 53 minutes ago from Vancouver. Not really a loud landing there. Nice to see, but very modest to hear. Now, unless there is an airplane in between that isn't visible on flight radar, it seems that the next airplane is still flying over Amsterdam southeast. An Embraer 190 arriving from Basel. Don't think there is something coming in the meantime. At least there's movement on the platform, which is almost always bustling with action. Wonder if Schiphol, if security would make a fuss of it if I came with my cart and all my gear and set up on a panorama rooftop terrace for a live stream. Now, as Rick can attest, I do have stuff with me that you cannot fit in one backpack or suitcase. Hey Norbert, good afternoon. Herzlich willkommen. Hope you're doing well. Would be nice though to do a live stream from the panorama rooftop terrace at some point. So this is the German, oh, it's German Airways, but it's flying with the KLM flight number KL 1986 Embraer 190 arriving from Basel, 17 years old, first flight January 2006. Yeah, the thing is, photo for you, that probably the guys streaming and who have already streamed from the rooftop terrace are probably packing less gear than I am. Just assessing what I've seen so far from live streamers that I ran into over here at Schiphol. It's not as elaborate as the guys from Airline Videos Live, but it's not the most compact setup. Delta Airlines Flight 136 arriving from Detroit, A330-300. Finally some noise. Yes. Hey Elske, goedemiddag, good afternoon. I'm doing well, although my hands are would you believe it, my hands do get a little cold at the moment, although they are not going stiff yet, so I am able to operate the camera and etc. But a lot of viewers are looking at the stream in a location where the sun is out. Now over here not so much. I'm already happy that it is dry again. We did have a few droplets earlier. So next up is a Vueling A320 arriving from Barcelona. Vueling flight 8309. Airbus A320, 14 years old, first flight May 2008, left Barcelona 1 hour and 54 minutes ago. Well, I'm not sure if a buckfeeds would add that much value, Rick. I already have a transportation bike with one of those crates on the front luggage carrier. I think those things are difficult to keep from getting stolen. I think they are quite popular, at least they were a favorite subject of theft in Amsterdam when I was still living there. Know a few people who have had their buckfeet stolen when it was parked right in front of their houses. So up next, KLM flight 1534. There we go. Embraer 175 arriving from Darlington, where it left 54 minutes ago. The airplane 5 years old. First flight January 2018. After that, we are going to see a Delta Airlines A330 arriving from Minneapolis. We're also awaiting the Emirates A380 Super today in the Journey to the Future livery. That is expected to land at, what is it, 10 past 1 or something? Yeah, baggerweer is the right term for it, Suzanne. Absolutely agree. I agree. And Elske has the same sad weather in Antwerp, in the Antwerp region. Oh yeah. Better make the best of it, right? And stealing bikes is very much a Dutch tradition, unfortunately. Some traditions you would rather wish that weren't there, this being one of them. Alright, so Delta Airlines flight 164 A330-300 arriving from Minneapolis, where it left 7 hours 45 minutes ago. The airplane 7 years old. First flight June 2015. Wheelie. Nice one. Thanks for the update photo for you. A380 expected in less than an hour, ladies and gentlemen. I am definitely going to stick around for that. Hopefully the runway configuration will not change, so that we are going to see it land. Now, next up will be an Embraer 175 from KLM, flight 1166, arriving from Helsinki, Finland, where it left 2 hours 5 minutes ago. This airplane 7 years old, first flight March 2016. And it is the Garuda 777 in the retro colors again, Rick. As I was coming to this location, I drove past it just before entering the Schiphol tunnel, where it was parked on the right hand side, coming from the south. Beautiful Republic Indonesia old school livery. Is it on the go, or just checking behind me? And looks like this Embraer has had a nose job. Ah yeah, exactly, there it is, the Garuda Indonesia retro livery. And Roadhog informing us that the A380 is racing with a Qatar to Edinburgh above Pilsen in Czechoslovakia at the moment. Let me also see now that it's not too warm, maybe there isn't a lot of distortion from the heat. Use the digital zoom a little bit. Show you a bit better what it looks like. Also not too windy, fortunately. Lovely airplane. And you can also see the entrance of the Schiphol tunnel behind it. And just to show you how much you can zoom in with these cameras these days. And I absolutely agree, more retro liveries. I also like the Aer Lingus one. Used it as a thumbnail for one of the recent streams. Really like that livery. They should do that more often. Alright, so next up is an Embraer 195 from LOT arriving from Warsaw, and it looks like there is going to be another 777 behind it arriving from Guayaquil, KLM 777-200. Hey Erwin, goedemiddag, good afternoon. Oh, and he too has sun. Do send some over, mate. No, I mean a different livery chauffeur GoPro. If you look at my channel page, I think, well, somewhere in the top you should see it, lining up to depart from the Polderbaan. A320 in the retro livery. I think it's more metallic, the livery. Beautiful. Used it as a thumbnail for one of my recent streams. So the lot we are about to see has a special livery, Warmia Mazury. Don't know what it is, if it is a name, if it is a place, if it is a company. If anybody knows, do let me know. Arriving from Warsaw, where it left an hour and 32 minutes ago. This is an Embraer 195 long range, 10 years old, first flight January 2013. Also wiping the few droplets that are on my camera screen away, so that I don't confuse landing lights for droplets or droplets for landing lights. Ah, Warmia Mazury is an airport in Poland, says chauffeur GoPro, minor airport. Okay, didn't know that, thanks for the information. Hey there Maarten, and hey there Betty, good day to you all. Hope you're all doing well. And also a recommendation by chauffeur GoPro. It is a beautiful location to visit as well. Warmia Mazury, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Hey Eddie, goedemiddag. Checking in from Almere. So this is KLM flight 755 arriving from Guayaquil, where it left 10 hours 54 minutes ago. This is a 19-year-old Boeing 777-200ER that had its first flight in April of 2004. Right, well, Betty has to go back to work. It's been a pleasure to have you on the stream again, Betty. Take care, and we'll see each other again soon. And Yillard says that National Airlines 30th anniversary livery is coming in 30 minutes. That would be nice to see. For now, let's see what is the next airplane. Looks like a KLM Embraer 190 arriving from Bergen. KLM flight 1186 left Bergen 1.5 hours ago. This airplane 5 years old, first flight February 2018. Hey there, Peter. Good evening, mate. Tuning in from Canberra. CBR. Now I know. Meanwhile, more action in the background. Oh, and a Delta Airlines in the Team USA livery A330 expected from Seattle in 28 minutes. All nicely preceding the expected A380 that is also in a special livery today, the Journey to the Future livery. So definitely worth sticking around for if you guys are able to. For those of you tuning in later, welcome to AMS Live. My name is Boy. We are standing alongside runway 27, the Buitenveldebaan, which initially was in use and then it wasn't, and now it is back in use again for arrivals. There is a little bit of wind blowing from the west, so these pilots are mostly facing headwind. As you guys can tell, it is overcast over here. Also a bit colder than during the weekend. Low double digits Celsius at the moment. think right now this is the only runway in use for arrivals. Martin also informing us that there's an Etihad Cargo 777 expected and chauffeur GoPro says 9747 expected soon. So, hey Infinity, goedemiddag, alles goed? So we are expecting to see some interesting heavies in the upcoming hour, ladies and gentlemen. If you are new to the channel but you're liking what you're seeing, do consider subscribing if you haven't done so already. Make sure to turn on notifications so that whenever I go live in the future you receive notification and can join us for more action over here at the ever bustling Schiphol Airport. It is always bustling, although runway usage is sometimes a bit of a gamble. Next up, Aer Lingus arriving from Dublin. Flight 604, A320, left Dublin an hour and 6 minutes ago. This airplane 18 years old, first flight June 2004. Well, other than my hands being a bit cold, I'm doing well, or Infinity. Now, I haven't heard any complaints yet about the internet connection stuttering or that my voiceover has gone from FM to AM, so I'm assuming that the changes I made are working flawlessly. Hope that is the case. Do let me know if the video footage starts stuttering or if my voice starts to sound weird. Weirder than usual, that is. Ooh, I do notice that as I am taking a sip of water that my hands are getting a bit stiff from the cold. Now that there's a momentary lull, let me put them in my jeans pockets. Hopefully they can warm up a little bit. All working good so far, says Yorkshire. Thanks so much for the feedback. Rubbing a little bit over my lower arms, hopefully get some warmth back in the flexor and extensor muscles in the lower arm. Now, if I show you guys a bit of the bigger picture, so this is facing east, perpendicular to that would be the south, perpendicular to that would be the west. Now, a bit difficult because there's always this electricity house that I'm standing behind, but this would be facing north. It looks like it is opening up a little bit compared with what it was earlier at around the time of the beginning of the stream. Now, visibility on ground level, I wouldn't say has improved very much. Might be able to see the details on the other side of the grass a bit better, but in the middle, in the background, is the water tower of Aalsmeer. It was poorly visible in the beginning and it still is, but it does look like it is over the overall brightness level of the sky has improved a little bit. Alright, thank you for the feedback, Donna and Norbert. Now let me quickly turn around the camera because there is a rarity arriving. The pencil. It is Icelandair Boeing 757-200 arriving from Reykjavik. Now we don't see the pencil that often anymore. Old livery. This 757 is 24 years old. Had its first flight in April 1999. Lovely retro airplane. Extremely quiet and also flat angle of attack, not a big flare or anything. Unlike the A330s that typically have their nose wheel quite high in the sky when the main landing gear touches down. Well, no electricity plugs going to the electricity house just yet. I do have my own power supply over here with my laptop in the laptop tent and everything connected to the power station, so I am able to basically feed all my electrical equipment an entire day. Can do 2 live streams and then I still have 20% left in that box, so power is never an issue. Next up, Emirates Sky Cargo, flight 9989, arriving from Dubai. It is a 777 freighter, 9 years old. Left Dubai 6 hours and 52 minutes ago, and the airplane had its first flight in September 2013. KLM in the 100 years livery behind it. Bit obscured by the turbulence of the engine exhaust gases. Next up will be a Vueling A320 arriving from Alicante. Flight 1377. Left Alicante 2 hours and 25 minutes ago. This airplane is an A320-200 that is 15 years old and had its first flight in December 2007. Hanema saying that above Raalte, Etihad and Emirates are racing each other. So the game is still on for the two. Well, things are getting brighter over here. If I didn't know better, I would be inclined to say that I think that the sun is trying to peek out from behind the clouds. Who knows? Nah, I spy with my little eye blue holes and the cloud base. As we would say in Dutch, gekkigheid, craziness. Hey there, Michael Jackson. Good morning. How's life in Kansas? Over here it is overcast, but it is opening up a little bit. And indeed, Kaagbaan is in use, Alex. In fact, let's have a quick look. Because we can see the Garuda Indonesia retro livery a bit better from over here. Without needing the digital power zoom. And it is a beautiful machine to look at. First airplane to arrive on 27 will be an Embraer 190 from KLM. Photo for you informing us that there's also a Queen inbound 15 minutes out. I always have to have a look whenever I'm driving past Schiphol and I see this airplane parked on either side of the runway, the highway. It is a looker. Hey Ant-Man. So back home again, I guess. And not a lot of people can say waking up in Holland and going to bed in Australia. That is definitely for sure. Hey Lotte. Goedemiddag, good afternoon. Alright, well, let's say our goodbyes to the Garuda Indonesia airplane and go back to the action over here on runway 27. Also, a squadron of birds flying in V formation. They are now crossing the runway. Glide slope, more or less. Oh no, they have already passed it. Okay, that's good. Haven't seen much of the bird controllers yet today. Right. (737) KLM arriving from Madrid. Now folks, there are quite a few heavies underway, so if you don't have to go anywhere, don't go anywhere. There's a 747 arriving. We are awaiting the Emirates A380. think at the moment this is still the only runway open for business regarding inbound traffic. Let me have a look. Yes, 27 still the only runway in use for arrivals. So that is good news, ladies and gentlemen. Exquisite big birds inbound. First up, BA flight 8489 Embraer 190 arriving from London City. Left 42 minutes ago. The airplane 10 years old. First flight July 2012. Easyjet A320 Neo arriving from Palma de Mallorca. Left 2 hours 12 minutes ago from Palma de Mallorca. This airplane is set to be brand new. Was first taken in use in December last year. Alright, now big birds are flocking near Schiphol. So don't go anywhere, folks. We are going to see a couple of interesting airplanes in the upcoming half hour. Before then, first up, Norwegian flight 1256 arriving from Oslo, where it left an hour and 25 minutes ago. This is a Boeing 737-800, 5 years old. First flight May 2017. Alright, Erin informing us that the A338 is now above Munster, so ETA approximately 20 minutes. First up will be a little Vueling A320, originating from Valencia, where it left 2 hours and 12 minutes ago. The airplane is 8 years old, had its first flight in March 2015. After that, we are going to see an Icelandair 767. So, no Maxes, just old school equipment. 757, 767, both in the old livery still. Garuda Indonesia in the retro livery, so nice retro-ish Monday so far. No time to waste. The 767 is already approaching fast. Icelandair Flight 500 arriving from Reykjavik in Iceland, where it left 2 hours 42 minutes ago. This airplane is 25 years old, had its first flight in October 1997. Magnificent. Photo for you says, looking good, no runway changes till now. Excellent. Big birds coming up. First up, Etihad. Etihad Cargo, flight 913. Etihad Cargo arriving from Abu Dhabi. 777 freighter. Left Abu Dhabi 6 hours 49 minutes ago. The airplane 10 years old, first flight April 2013. After that we are going to see a Queen up close. We did already see a couple in the distance. This time around we'll see it in front of us. Hey ALV dog, just in time indeed. Excellent timing. Now coming up, something you don't see every day over here. National Airlines, flight 8820, Boeing 747-400, arriving from Bryce Norton, where it left an hour and 4 minutes ago. This is a Boeing 747-400. 31 years old, first flight October 1991, and it is in a special 30th anniversary special livery, ladies and gentlemen. Now folks, if you are liking what you're seeing, consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already. It allows you to turn on notifications so that whenever I go live, you get a notification and can join us for more action. And it also helps me to reach more people like you and me who are into live streaming aviation content such as this. Let me now shut up so we can enjoy this Boeing 747. Magnificent stuff. Don't see that very often. AOV dog. Thought you were already a member. Welcome back then. And if not, then welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge, AOV dog. Your timing, superb. Barb's just in time as well. Superb timing. Beautiful machine you don't see very often. Now, to switch it up, we'll first see a narrow body, but more is in the pipeline, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go anywhere. First up, KLM flight 1598, Boeing 737-800, arriving from Rome. Left 1 hour and 52 minutes ago. The airplane, 22 years old, first flight September 2000. After that, 787-10 Dreamliner arriving from Atlanta. We're also awaiting the arrival of the daily Emirates A380 Super. Which should be arriving within the next half hour. Hey there, Alice Maria Martin Silva de Jesus. Good day to you. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to all other viewers who have in the meantime joined us. We're standing here alongside the Buitenwelderbaan, runway 27. Currently the only runway in use for arrivals. What wind there is blowing from the west. Here we have a Dreamliner, 787-10 Dreamliner arriving from Atlanta, Georgia. 2 years old. First flight August 2020. Also a behemoth of a machine. En Greet geniet. Excellent. That's what I like to hear. People enjoying the stream. Thank you so much for your kind words, Greet. Now, let's have a look. Quite a few heavies underway. First, a few narrow bodies. First one of which, Transavia flight 6728, Boeing 737-800, arriving from Seville. Left Seville 2 hours and 37 minutes ago. This airplane, 7 years old. First flight February 2016. And Alex says that there's also a Transavia in the Sunweb livery coming soon. So don't go anywhere, folks. AMS Live is the place to be for this Monday afternoon, early afternoon. Wind is starting to pick up a little bit, as you guys can probably can tell by the shakiness of the footage. But that is good news, because as long as the wind is coming from the west mostly, and looking at the windsock, that is still the case, northwest perhaps a bit, means that we'll be good here at this runway for arrivals. Next up, Transavia in the Sunweb livery. Flight 1160 arriving from Mytilene and left there 3 hours 2 minutes ago. Boeing 737-800, 7 years old. First flight February 2016. Also somewhat flattish approach. Not the best, not the steepest of flares. Next up, Top Air Portugal A319 arriving from Lisbon, flight 674, departed from Lisbon 2 hours and 40 minutes ago. The airplane is 20 years old. First flight was in May 2002. Pastel de nata. Can you tell I'm on the last week of my my mini diet? Lovely color scheme always, the Top Air Portugal airplanes. Next up, an A330neo in the Team USA livery, ladies and gentlemen. Delta Airlines flight 144, A330-900, originating from Seattle, where it left 9 hours 5 minutes ago. This airplane 2 years old. First flight May 2021. USA, USA. So this was probably because of the Olympics 2 years ago? Was this the official airplane that carried them to the to the Olympics? Lovely airplane. Good sound on the reversers as well. Sorry about that, Michael. Did not intend to do that. Don't want to be responsible for more coffee spillage in the world. Was the first thing that came to my mind. Crowds chanting USA, USA. Anyway, up next, Air France, flight 1640, A319 coming in from Paris Charles de Gaulle. 22-year-old airplane. First flight June 2000. Left Paris 49 minutes ago. Wow, you'd think that it would be a shorter flight than that. Maybe they started the clock after pushback and had to wait for being able to take off. Surely it doesn't take 50 minutes of flight to get to Paris, or from Paris to Amsterdam. Always makes me wonder how Flight Radar comes up with these flight times. Is that as soon as the transponder goes on, or as soon as it leaves the ground, or as soon as it starts taxiing? If anybody knows more about that, do let me know. Hey Theo, goedemiddag. I'm using a Canon XA40 as camera. If you go to my about page, I have listed the most important tools that I'm using to shoot the footage with. The mics, the tripod, the camera. If you go to the about page, made a list of it. There's also a picture of my equipment, several pictures of my equipment somewhere on the community pages. Meanwhile, KLM 777 arriving from Lima. And a nice wheelie. Hardly ever see triples and A330s make a very hard landing. I'm not saying that they don't, but you often see them touch down gently. Well, Michael, I've seen enough of the Olympics and other sports events to know that United States fans are keen on chanting USA, USA. So it was the first thing that came to my mind when seeing the Team USA on the livery just now. First up, Aeromexico Flight 25, Boeing 787-8 Dreamliner arriving from Mexico City, where it left 10 hours and 13 minutes ago. This airplane, 7 years old. First flight August 2015. Also a buttery smooth landing there. Bit quiet. Spoke too soon. Okay, so only after touching down midway during their landing, their landing roll or whatever it is that you call it, only then do they start applying the reverse thrust. Interesting. All right. Now, an Embraer 175. Looking a bit further out, I see that the Emirates A380 is also arriving just west of Almere. So first up will be AKLM City Hopper Embraer 175 arriving from Kristiansand, where it left an hour and 7 minutes ago. The airplane, 5 years old, first flight July 2017. Good question, James. Let me update the meter in a moment. Looking at the way the pilots are banking left and right, you can definitely tell the wind is picking up a bit. Definitely not stormy over here. It is a bit breezy. Yeah, keep forgetting to do that. Let me quickly open my browser on my laptop and go to Flight Radar, update the meter for you guys. So, wind has increased to 10 knots, was 6 knots at the time of the beginning of the stream. Quickly close the browser. Alright. And at least runway 27 for arrivals. Save. Okay, so I have updated the meter to the latest that is available at the moment. Hey there, Ana Clara Santana, hola. So, wind is blowing, and it says it still says, hey, this is not the right. Okay. Odd. Could have sworn that I copy pasted it. Apparently that didn't go well. There we go. Now the meter is updated. It is opening up also a little bit. It's also warming up a little bit. Even a bigger patch of blue sky over here. So how about that? Wind has increased to 10 knots. What is it? 300 if I recall correctly. I have to check the meter myself as well. Yeah. So the wind has increased a little bit, still not too severe. If you look in the water over here, you do see that there are more waves, but it's not too drastic. Also looking to the windsock over there, hasn't changed significantly. Alright then, next up, Embraer 175 KLM flight 1344 arriving from Billund, where it left 52 minutes ago. This Embraer is 6 years old. First flight May 2017. Next up is an E2 Embraer 195. As it gets brighter, it becomes a bit harder for me to see on the laptop or on the camera screen, but here it is, KLM Flight 1444, E2 Embraer 195 arriving from Aberdeen, where it left 1 hour and 16 minutes ago. The airplane is 1 year old, had its first flight in February 2022. Not going to stick around too long because the Emirates A380 is behind it. There we go, ladies and gentlemen, the A380 of today. In the Journey to the Future livery, Emirates Flight 147, A380-800, left Dubai 6 hours 40 minutes ago. This airplane is 10 years old, first flight April 2013. Now folks, if you guys are enjoying this stream and you haven't done so already, do consider subscribing to the channel. If you haven't done so, make sure to turn on notifications so that whenever I go live in the future, you receive a heads up and can join us for more live streaming action over here from Schiphol Airport. It also helps me to reach more people like you and me who are also into content like this. I will now shut up so we can enjoy this Emirates A380 in the Journey to the Future livery. Let me see if I enable digital zoom. It's not the best quality of footage, but you can zoom in a bit further. You can tell that the wind is picking up. I'm trying to keep my camera stable with both hands on the tripod head, but it is still shaky despite the fact that my tripod is safely secured to the ground with tent wires. And Infinity says that there's an A340 that will depart soon. What time is it expected to take off? Is it already on the radar? Let me have a look. Oh yeah, there it is. I think we also saw it arrive on 36 right this morning, or at least after it touched down. So there it is. You can also use the ugly digital zoom to zoom in a bit further. Let me at least try, particularly if I'm not moving the camera too much, to apply image stabilization so that at least we can get this as stable as possible. Hey.
Bezig met een livestream?
Ja, ja, AMS live.
Oh, cool. Is het ergens ik praten?
Nee, ja goed, als je het niet erg vindt als mensen dat horen, want dat horen mensen.
Via waar doe je dit? Twitch of
YouTube? Ja, YouTube.
Nice. Ben je hier vaak te filmen?
Een paar keer per week, meestal. Ja.
Oh, nice man.
Ja.
Heb je ook een, doe je dit vrijwillig of als hobby? Of,
Nee, dit is hobby, maar als ik het kan uitgroeien tot iets wat wel een soort baan wordt, zou dat wel heel gaaf zijn.
Ja.
Zeker.
Ik kwam hier vroeger heel vaak met de fiets en dan nog met mijn ouders samen.
Ja?
Ik woon hier in Amsterdam, dus ik zie
ja.
vliegtuig voorbij komen.
Ja, zeker. En zeker nu.
Ja. Nice.
Leuk man.
Ah, cool. Succes.
Hey, dankjewel. Fijne dag nog.
Hetzelfde.
Dank je. Well, it doesn't fully mitigate the bumpiness induced by the wind. I do have it on maximal image stabilization. It does help a little bit. So this is Hi-Fly Malta, flight 395 A340 300, 22 years old, first flight October 2000. As there's a 737 outbound to Athens now, further up taking off. The A340 is entering the runway to line up. Haha, no, it was a coincidental passerby on his racing cycle, and he was just curious to learn what I was doing over here, ALV dog. Right, so the runway is clear. It should be taking off any minute now. Now from this vantage point we can only see the beginning, unfortunately, and we can see it once it has taken off and takes to the sky, insofar as visibility will allow us. Let's see what we can make of it. There. Going back to the most I can zoom in with optical zoom. Otherwise I think it deteriorates the image quality. I will also switch it off again. It's entering the cloud base already. The downside of today's weather. Yeah, the digital zoom does work quite well, ALV dog, as long as you don't zoom in too much. If you don't go overboard in zooming to 400 times, which it's said that it can do. Now, just to make sure that I never accidentally end up in the range where the image quality becomes poor, I basically have it switched off as a default. Let me go back. Digital zoom off. Also switched off the image stabilizer for this reason that if you tilt up and down, the image stabilizer tends to overshoot, and that can make you a little seasick. So arriving now is a Boeing 737-800 from KLM flight 1128, arriving from Copenhagen, where it left an hour and 6 minutes ago. The airplane, 22 years old, had its first flight in June 2000. Now, let's have a look. Are there still some heavies arriving, or is it all just narrow bodies now? Oh, there is a BizJet coming in a few minutes. That's nice. For the rest, it seems that we are seeing narrow bodies for the time being. Oh, there is an A330 from Turkish arriving from Istanbul in the vicinity of Kampen and Lelystad. Is there more stuff out? Ooh, 777 from Shanghai also in the country near Meppel. Okay. Well, I think those are at least 2 jets to stick around for me. After that, I think I might end the stream for today. We've had a bit of a slow start, but fortunately it has picked up quite nicely with some nice special liveries as well. The Berlin Bear. Nice one. So yeah, indeed a Bombardier Challenger. Always nice to see some biz jets when around. First up is going to be an had to look, but these are 2 Easyjets behind each other. Easyjet A319 arriving from Berlin. 16 years old, this airplane. First flight March 2007. Left Berlin an hour and 6 minutes ago, this one. Thanks for your kind words, Donna. Glad you enjoyed it. We're not done yet, of course. But you always have to pick an end point at some point, and I think the triple arriving from Shanghai will be a good last plane for today. Now, first up, Embraer 190. If my camera can focus in on it. Arriving from Nantes in France, KLM flight 1456. She's 9 years old. First flight December 2013, and this one left Nantes an hour and 15 minutes ago. Oké, Elske, eet smakelijk. Enjoy your lunch. It's been a pleasure to have you on the stream again. Indeed, sweet dreams to those heading to bed. We'll see you again later in the week during the next one. Enjoy the rest of the week, Elske. So next up will be the BizJet. You can see that the backdrop has become a bit lighter than it was earlier during the stream. NetJets Europe CL35 arriving from London. Which airport is that? BQH. Must be a private airplane. Small airport. Bombardier Challenger 350. 5 years old, first flight January 2018. And this one arriving from London, left there 56 minutes ago. Don't even need to zoom out, can be fully zoomed in. Ah, London Biggin Hill. And Roshan, I am 40. I'm not a student anymore. It's been a while. Thank God for that. Next up is going to be an Embraer 175 arriving from Frankfurt, KLM flight 1766. Left Frankfurt 49 minutes ago. The airplane 6 years old. First flight February 2017. Hey there, Brian. Good morning. Is it still morning over there where you are at? The type of Embraer that actually flies. Meow. Burn to the Embraers that are grounded, the many E2 Embraer 195s. What is it? Half of the fleet that KLM has bought? Right, next up, Easyjet flight 22163. Wonder what happens if you dial that number on a phone. Airbus A319 arriving from Manchester. This airplane is 16 years old. First flight November 2006. And yeah. What time is it? Okay, 2 hours 57 minutes. Just checking, I've just now realized that I didn't increase my data bundle, so I have 10 gigabytes, and if I don't upgrade, the stream is going to abruptly end. But been streaming now for almost exactly 3 hours, so I should still be good. But let me see how far. Okay, the Turkish is nearby. Okay, and the triple as well. Yeah, we'll be good. Well, and I can imagine, Saltsan, that you are venting on behalf of your family member who works for City Hopper. Must be frustrating when so many of these airplanes are grounded. So, This is KLM flight 1666, arriving from Barcelona, where it left 2 hours ago. This airplane, 15 years old, first flight January 2008. After that we are going to see Turkish, and it's A330 arriving from Istanbul. There we go, Turkish. Flight 1957, A330-300, arriving from Istanbul, where it left 3 hours 4 minutes ago. The airplane, 8 years old. First flight. Come on. There we go. First flight, August 2014. Alright then, ladies and gentlemen, next up will be a Boeing 737-800 from KLM, arriving from Manchester. Just about visible in the distance. KLM flight 1074. Oh. Thanks for the kind words, ALV dog. I'm happy to hear that my streams are becoming a regular fixture in your evenings. Really nice to hear that back from you. So this is KLM flight 1074, Boeing 737-800, arriving from Manchester, where this airplane left 58 minutes ago. This airplane is 22 years old, had its first flight in July 2000. After that we are going to see an E2 Embraer 195 from KLM, arriving from Gdansk in Poland. There we go. The airplane with possibly the biggest engines compared to the fuselage diameter. The E2 Embraer 195 KLM flight 1918. Originating from Gdansk in Poland, where it left 1 hour 25 minutes ago. This airplane is 2 years old, had its first flight in February 2021. It is vacating the runway. Are those the exit lights? Or at least the border lights? Blue lights in the center, I think, for taxiways in the evening. Right, Corendon up next. The penultimate plane of the day. Arriving from Palma de Mallorca. Somebody called it earlier during the week the wedding dress livery. Don't recall who it was that said it, but the name stuck. Anyway, last plane of the day, ladies and gentlemen. China Cargo Airlines 777. It is originating from Shanghai, where it left 11 hours and 15 minutes ago. Almost half a day underway, this airplane. She's 13 years old, had its first flight in January 2010, and it is a 777 freighter, so it should make a nice growl or whatever, whistle. The triples and the freighters have that sound. Right, folks, that is going to be it for me for today. Thank you all so much once again for joining me here today on today's live stream. I've had a blast and I hope you guys did too. If you guys enjoyed what you have saw just now and you haven't subscribed yet, do consider becoming a subscriber. Turn on notifications so that whenever I go live in the future you get notified and can join us for more live streaming action from Schiphol Airport. Next time I'm going out will hopefully be Thursday, and otherwise hopefully Friday. It's always under weather permitting conditions, but I think we should keep it dry the rest of the week. For now, I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you all once again for joining me and for your patience earlier during the morning when there was no action on runway 27. I look very much forward to hearing the stream and listening to the audio and also looking at the image quality. Hopefully things have taken a turn for the better, and I am looking forward to seeing you guys again during the next stream. For now, have a nice Monday, enjoy the rest of your week. Hopefully I will see you guys again soon, and take care. Bye for now, folks.